And are you going to give us the guidelines? Or I can, I guess.
And I would like to present our wonderful president of Witty Storyteller Online, Michelle Alba Lim.
Thank you so much, Julie.
And now please mute yourself.
Okay, so thank you so much, Julie, and welcome everyone. I always find a buildup of excitement before Witty Storytellers meetings. It was very fortuitous this time because my brain was still on 2 p.m. for me here in the Philippines. But fortunately, I said to myself, I'll open it up early. And then I realized, no, it's 1 p.m. here because of the daylight and all that. But welcome everyone. This meeting is going to be focused on pathways. It is actually our online Pathways Guides official visit to our club. For those who are not aware, unrestricted clubs, or what is known as District U, of which online clubs like Witty Storytellers is a part of, have been assigned online Pathways Guides. How fitting. And we are fortunate to have assigned to us one of the Pathways pioneers herself, Julie Kertesz. Instead of doing the usual Pathways presentation wherein she shows slides and slides and slides and slides until we start glazing, since many of us, most of us, in fact, thanks to her prodding, are already on Pathways, instead of doing the slides, she will instead do it her usual storytelling way. So let us all welcome our Vice President for Education, our Pathways inspirational pioneer, and now our online Pathways guide, the one and the only Julie Kertesz.
We live exciting times. Change is coming. And change is coming. Change is already here for Witty Storytellers. And as far as I know now, because I asked everyone, none of us present are new to Pathway. Only Anne couldn't answer, but all the others are already on Pathway and began Pathway. And of course, the Witty Storytellers, as usual, have been there for a long time. I would like to begin citing Justin Trudeau, the Canadian Prime Minister. He said like that, and I have to read because I want to read it right. The pace of change accelerates so fast that we have only two choices. Try to hold what exists and fight what it comes. Or decide to go with it, get in front of it, and shape the way it is going. There are wonderful opportunities here to get to the other side and to lead it. Pathways is an opportunity to try new things. We are in a transition state. We know how it used to be, and we know how it is now. Get involved, get in front, be a leader. All the members of Witty Storytelling Online are leaders, and all have begun in their way something very new. I would like to show you some slides now. But I think I have a problem, so I have to stop. And I will
Coming up now.
my slides
It was
first.
coming up. It was coming up, Julie.
Yes.
It took time, but it was coming up eventually.
It was coming up. We saw the
Okay.
first screen.
You had the first screen. You have now the first screen.
There.
So pathway is coming. And for those who hesitate and ask why is coming, I have something to tell. And I decided to tell all my new paths with pictures. So I begin with pictures. I will tell you a story about window. Some of you have heard it perhaps, but not all. So, it is middle of the winter, and the wife got a cold and remains home. The husband is at work and worried, and calls home. My dear, how it's going? I have a problem. My window doesn't open. It is frozen. Well, pour a little bit of lukewarm water on it and tap with a hammer. Okay, and an hour later he calls back. So dear, how it worked? My computer didn't like the water. And when I clicked with the hammer, everything broke. So I have no more computer. That is my window story. And that shows how much we changed from the 1940s when Smedley showed his basic training to now. Because window is no more a window. And 1 week after I told first time this story, which I took from Facebook, it is not mine, my window couldn't close, and that man came to home and repaired it. So what we do with what we have, it depends on us. We can do many things, very different things, and the same path can see differently to everyone. Here are the 10 paths, and I will not speak about it because every one of you will speak about the path. And I just show you very fast that every path has 5 different levels. The mastering fundamentals, which I love really. And you can repeat it again and again, and each time it will be indeed different. And then on that builds to understand yourself and to go further. What all the pioneers here did is to dirty their leg in potholes. So no one else after us has to do it, because we can hold their hands and avoid those potholes which come and go far and farther. That is the street near where I live. And sometimes it seems a long, long way, even if it is only 3 long buildings. And now I will stop sharing, and I will introduce Brian, who is my how can I tell? We were co-conspirators to find a club where Pathway is there, and we did found together a year ago already. We wanted to begin Pathway. And he's a pioneer also because as much as I know, he's the only one, first one at least, who made the speechcraft all based by pathways. And I hope many people will follow him. With a speech named My Path and My Vision,
Yes.
or My Pathway and Vision, Brian Dodd.
Yes, as Judy said, we got into, well, she jumped in there a couple of days ahead of me and joined, I think it was about 4 days before I did, because I elected to start my membership on the 1st of the month, and Judy was in there, I think, on about the 25th of the month or something like that, and got access to her pathways. So I, of course, opened the thing up. I knew I had to do the assessment because I'd already given about half a dozen or more speeches on pathways before it even rolled out in any place as a pilot project. And I'd been careful gleaning information from the internet and from Toastmasters International as they released the stuff out there. So I took my first path, and I don't know what it came up with. I want to become a professional speaker and earn money from my voice and my brain. I've been a trainer because I've written software and I've done all that before. So I changed my course again in my life, and I think it would be my 4th major occupation when I'm successful at it. So I take the answer all the questions in the assessment, and it comes up with 2 suggestions of paths, and I think that's not what I really want. Well, I shouldn't say it wasn't. One of them was, which was the dynamic leadership. But because I'm a visionary person, and I like to look out into the future, or I like to look at problems and imagine a solution to the problem, and then work on solving that problem. Visionary communications. And I read the specs of what it was going to do for me, and thought, I will choose that as my first, well, my free path, because you get 1 path when you join a club. And I started to work on it. I didn't start my other path for quite a while. I was almost finished the visual communication when I actually went out and purchased the second path, which is dynamic leadership. And that's what I'm on at the current time. I'm up to level 4. I have to do my level 4 projects. And then I'll be rolling into level 5, probably within the month. I was excited. Once I saw the material, I imagined the options that we were going to have from other people that have been saying, well, we're going to get this. Pat Johnson was one of the big influences on information about what's in pathways, mainly when she did a podcast interview with Daryl, who was living in Germany at the time. And some of you were in that event. And she said, but these are the various things that you're going to be able to learn. One of them I really liked was the mentoring aspect of it. However, I'm a little disappointed that the mentoring, which is separate, is not required to get your DTM with it. But I suggest everybody takes that mentoring course or project and work your way through it. It not only gives you understanding of how you can mentor somebody else, but what you can expect from other people when they're mentoring you. I have mentors, and I mentor other people. I'm excited because one of the first people I got into Pathways in one of my clubs, one of my hybrid clubs, blended, whatever you want to call it. She was a young student at Camosun College, and she is now one speech away from finishing her level 1. She was the only one in the club doing it, and she's going to be the first one to complete a path. And why is that significant? Because that club is First Canadian Toastmasters, the club that keeps the history of itself and writes books about itself. So she will be in the history of Toastmasters, having accomplished something. Now I can't see the clock. Who's our timer?
I don't believe we actually have one.
We
Well-
were just whispering or typing about who would time
I
it.
think I just realized I
I
didn't.
think I think you're at about 4.5 minutes by my
Yeah.
clock, though.
Yeah, me
Oh,
too.
okay. Well, Julie mentioned about the speechcraft that we did at Royal Roads and using Pathways. Well, there, 2 students actually got through level 1 completely. They haven't gone online yet and registered all their accomplishments. They got to go through and tick off the boxes and go through the mechanical side, if you want to call it that, or electronic side of Pathways. And I will encourage them to do that because we are going to start another project. This time we're going to try something different. Last time we were using online resources and in-person resources in a room. This time we're going to actually do it without any online help, just in the room. And I'm delegated one of those people. They're going to be the coordinator of the whole event. And I said to him, look, students don't want to listen to somebody with a silver hair like I've got. It's better to come from yourselves. So we'll get the students in. People like myself and a few others will come in, and we will do the education part of the speechcraft and inform them of different aspects in public speaking. I mean, don't even think of it as pathways. It's just public speaking, how they can get out, how they can express themselves better, and how they can use the pathways experience to benefit their education now and forever in their future. Madam General Toastmaster.
So many titles.
Thank you very much, Brian. Our next speaker is also a pioneer. And I had seen her grow and discover new things and take on more and more tasks on her, one after other. She opened the Pathway discussion forum on Facebook, which now has about 3,300 people. And everyone who comes finds an answer there, fast, from experts, and even can complain. Some complain, some tell, I did it. Like I told that I was at the beginning a pathway naive. Now I call myself pathway proficient. At the beginning, I was not at all. But that is a tale I will tell after. Now, I would like to introduce Michelle Albalim. And excuse me, Graham, you will come just after that. Can you time her?
Oh, I can do this, yes.
Yes. Thank you.
Am I starting, Julie?
Yes. And her title is I Didn't Know What I Didn't Know.
Thank you very much, Julie. And yes, I still don't know a lot of things that I don't know. But I want to know, though, how many of you, by show of hands, sometimes go down an unfamiliar path just for the sake of exploring and discovery? Yeah, if I had 5 hands, I would raise all of them. There's something magical, something wonderful and childlike about just going down a path, especially if the path is a little bit rugged, you don't really know what's down the road, and you just go down that way, and then you discover things. Well, I started Pathways in that sort of way. Of course, I'd heard about Pathways because I was a Pathways ambassador since 2013, and we had very little information about it. It was almost like, oh yeah, I'm an ambassador. Yeah, right. But we didn't really know anything about it. Our chief ambassador was almost as much in the dark as we were. I think almost the entire world was basically just knew that the